There seems to be a fine line between being a good friend and being supportive, being honest, and again, being supportive. Now, when you're in an abusive relationship or you're being gaslighted, it's very hard to understand. But what I've realized and what I've heard from others is that sometimes it's even hard for your friends to tell you that you are in an abusive relationship or that you're being gaslighted, because there's this really fine line of where does your friendship start and when does your personal life start. How much say do they have in your personal life as friends? So I want to do this video on how to tell your friend that they're being abused or that they're being gaslighted. These types of abuse are so subtle, and friendships can be very delicate, especially when you start to touch upon very delicate subjects, such as their romantic relationships, or even worse, the relationship they have with their parents. I've done a lot on emotionally abusive parents too. So I want to do this video to give you some simple steps of how to approach a friend and let them know that what you believe, that they're being gaslighted or they're being abused. Now, if you have no idea who I am, my name's Olympia, and with my studies in cognitive neuroscience and art history, what I like to do, I like to dissect that pretty little brain of yours to see what makes you tick, but also makes you talk. So, for those who are returning and to new members, welcome to the G spot, aka the gaslighting spot. This is a safe place where we talk about gaslighting, emotional abuse, and in this case, how to tell your friend that they're being abused or gaslighted. Before I continue, if you haven't already, make sure to smash the subscribe button and ring that bell for your weekly Thursday video. And let's start. So one thing that works effectively, and this works even if you want to do it on yourself, is the reverse psychology game. So if you see your friend is being gaslighted or abused, you can approach them, tell them in a very calm manner that I don't think the way this person is treating you is right. How would you feel if blank? And then try and put that instance that happened. So let's say their partner started screaming at them in front of you and they called them names. They called them selfish, or they called them being paranoid. And your friend is thinking, okay, I obviously pissed him off and he's calling me paranoid because I went off on a rant, and they're going through their own little cycle of abuse and their little thoughts inside, their gaslighting thoughts. While you're the friend are looking and thinking, well, my friend doesn't really deserve that, now does she? So approach your friend and say, hey, I noticed that your partner said this and that he accused you of being selfish and called you paranoid. I'm not really, as a friend, I didn't really like the way your partner reacted. I mean, how would you feel if my partner started shouting at me in front of you and called me paranoid and selfish? Now, the harsh truth here is that regardless of your friendship, and regardless of how many years you've been friends, if your friend does not want to hear the truth, it doesn't matter. They're going to get pissed. They're going to lash out. If they're not ready to hear it, you're probably going to hear it. You're going to hear from them. You're probably going to get lashed out on. But as a friend, you did your duty. You saw something that you did not like. You saw how they were treating your friend, and you stood up for them, which is exactly what you would want for them to do for you. Now, another thing that works is that if it's a specific thing that the other person is doing, let's say their partner, or even let's say their parent, okay, and you're trying to tell them that their parent is emotionally abusing them, that their parent is putting them down, you can come up with a signal. And this I found very interesting. My partner actually gave me this idea. Every time your friend is in that situation, every time that abuse, I say the abuse like this because I'm not putting a specific example here. So every time that abuse happens, can't do that, you would come up with a signal such as, I don't know, like going like this, or saying a random word like I'm hungry or something like that. I don't know. But my point being is that let's say the parent keeps interrupting the child and saying things such as what you're saying is wrong, or what you're thinking is wrong, or that never happened. And you're saying this as a friend, and you're seeing how your friend is being put down and how the parent is not listening to them. Now this is tricky, I know, because it's a parent, but if you want to go to a more light relationship, and say their partner, for example, every time that partner interrupts them, just go like this. Or every time their partner demeans them or says something bad, clear your throat. Or it's just come up with a signal, and that way you can actually make your friend aware of the situation. Because sometimes they don't even know that it's going on. They don't even notice it. They feel bad, but they don't know why they feel bad. I actually got this idea, the signal thing actually worked with me, not because of abuse. It was the most randomest thing. It was because I was saying the word like all the time. And it's a very vicious circle where you say like after every three, four words. So my mom, for example, every time I said like or would kind of go, you know that annoying sound from the iPhone? That one. So every time I said it, I would become aware by her doing that annoying sound. Now, this is a very light example, but the concept is that the person doesn't actually know it's happening. And if you as a friend want to help out that friend of yours and let them know that they're being manipulated or gaslighted, you can come up with a signal to show them, if they disagree with you in the first place, that what you're seeing is actually happening, and hey, it's happening right now and right now and right now. And that way you can actually help them identify the patterns. Now this is really important because I talk a lot about emotional abuse and about leaving relationships and falling in love again and seeing the signs and identifying the signs and healing from everything, which is great. But rarely do I talk about the importance of other people in that victim's life. Now, if you're a friend and if you're seeing this, it is your job, no matter how hard it is. That is part of it's part of the invisible friendship contract, that you have to put yourself unfortunately out there and let them know that something's not right, because your intervention could help them prevent years of abuse. The fact that you spoke up could help them see things that maybe they would never have seen. When I was in an abusive relationship, I had my parents, I had my friends, everyone kept saying that something was wrong, but no one really pinpointed it. No one really showed me exactly what it was that wasn't going well. No one came up with a little signal saying, for example, every time I used to say something, this person would turn around and be like, oh my God, you started again. Oh my God, that was so stupid. Why would you say such a thing? And at the end, I didn't even feel like talking, because I knew that anything that came out of my mouth, I thought it was stupid because my partner thought it was stupid. But if I had a good enough friend, if I had a person that at that moment vouched for me and came up with that little signal and said, hey, look, right now your partner is doing that for you, that would help me get out of that relationship much faster than what I would have. And this is where you come in. This is how important it is for you to approach your friend and let them know that something is not right. So, like I said, reverse psychology helps a lot. It shows your friends that if it was you in that situation, how would they react? How would they feel how would they feel towards you and that abusive relationship that you're in? And then also coming up with a signal that helps your friend identify when it is actually happening. It creates a mental note, and then they can look out for that pattern. Just be brutally honest. Your friendship was built on a certain foundation. They liked you, they picked you, you're friends for some reason, and that reason will remain. So being honest with them and letting them know what you think, but in a kind and respectful way, of course, and not accusing them, may help them understand what's going on a bit better. But I want to say this again. If your friend is not ready to hear the truth, they will probably lash out. That does not mean you're wrong. If you believe in your gut that what you see is abuse and is right, keep fighting for that friend, because that friend is not in denial because of what you're saying. They're in denial in general. They do not want to hear it, and most likely they may already know it inside and they're just not ready to admit it. So just stick by them even if they lash out, because that's when they need you the most. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell for your weekly Thursday videos. And that's it, folks.